Welcome back to Notier's Frontiers Diaries. In the last episode, we finally made it to Lake Atitlán in Guatemala, which is one of the most beautiful lakes on earth. It has these 3 volcanoes around it, and they're like perfect cones. It's just gorgeous. We had a bit of a problem with figuring out how to get to the place where we had rented an Airbnb for a month, because the only way to go around that lake is by these lancha boats. There is a road, but it's
kind of sketchy.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous road.
And I wasn't putting my bike on one of those launches because that's equally sketchy.
We thought about that.
And a lot of these bikes are, like 150, 250cc. But my bike,
No way.
Not
no
happening.
way. Yeah.
No.
But thankfully, we had some friends, Greg and Jess Stone, and they had a place in Panajachel, which is the main city there, where we were able to store our motorcycle. We took everything off of it, put it on one of these lancha boats, and headed across the lake to a little village called San Pedro.
And I was really excited to stay in this little remote village and be in a little hostel for a month. But half of the people on the boat were your Fifth Element looking hippies with I was just like, oh no, it smelled like Nag Chanka, and I was just like, oh please don't just be Never Neverland. And we pull up to the dock, and sure enough, I still had a lot of excitement. But it was just
It's a very much of an artist community.
Hippies.
And so there's a lot of people selling bracelets,
marijuana,
and beaded things, and that sort of
dreads
stuff.
in their hair.
And I have nothing against that. I find that totally awesome.
But I just wanted authentic Guatemalan small village
That's the
stuff,
thing.
and
it used to be like that, from what people say.
Yeah.
Your mother had been there long, long ago.
Yeah.
She even has pictures of it and would tell us stories.
And a lot of people we run into, but I think it just progressively, a lot of people will go there because it is so beautiful and understandably so, and it's dirt cheap to stay there. I mean, it cost us $200 to live there for a month, and that was a tourist rate, but people go there and then they never leave.
Yes.
And then they sell bracelets on the side of the street to other tourists.
Maybe it's an incredible life.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's beautiful. But, I mean, it just takes away a lot of the quaint charm,
Yes, it has evolved to become something else.
Yeah.
But
the further up the mountain you go, away from the lake, the more authentic it gets,
And also the further up the mountain you go, some people have built these gorgeous kind of LA type of apartments that overlook the lake. So it's a mixed bag.
There's a medium. There's an in-between, Directly lakefront is touristic weirdos. Yeah. And there's this nice little middle of the pie. This is where the good meat is. And then a crust of wealth on top.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it.
But
once we found our place, which was very hard to find, with all of our stuff, lugging it around up these hills, we were very, very comfortable there.
Yeah.
It was so lovely. We had wonderful roommates. There were lots of little stray cats.
No, there was no roommates. We had our own
housemates.
Room. It was there was 9 apartments, if you will, and each apartment had a bed and a dresser and a bathroom. Yeah. And that's all we needed. There was no TV, thank God. There was no, there was a community kitchen that we could all use.
And
we had 5 cats.
Yeah, that's something that we love. We love all the cats.
That's what sold it to me. I was like, oh, and there was one kitten, and we called him Schlingel because he was a little brat. But I love him.
Apparently that's German. So the German girl named him. It means naughty, I think, in German.
I think it means a little brat. Translate to leap head. Yeah.
And there would be these beautiful hammocks that we could just lay out on, and you'd be reading a book, so relaxing out there, just away from all the chaos of the world and technology and everything. And then Schlingel would come along and just grab onto you from underneath with her claws,
Do,
and you're like
military exercises on your back as
yeah,
you're
like
leading
crawling on you.
It's like and then scamper off, and you're like sling on. But he was cute. He had moments of tranquility. You know,
Yes.
he'd let you pet him and purr, and then something stupid would happen outside, and you'd freak out and draw blood, and you'd be like, sling on. But, you know, we took some Spanish classes while we were there.
We did. We went looking around. So there's tons of Spanish classes out there. And we went looking around the whole little town to find the best deal. And in hindsight, I'm not sure that was the best strategy to find good quality Spanish classes. It's not always the cheapest.
Well, the demand is so high that they run out of premium, right? You know, so you have to pay for the premium. And so when you pay for the bottom barrel, you know, you get, you know, bottom barrel.
Unfortunately, you're talking about teachers, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's nothing against the teachers, but this is a very strong indigenous community out there. A lot of people speak Quechua.
That's their first, you know, language. And then they do know some Spanish, you know, but to be a teacher at a Spanish school, like I practiced barely ever leading up to this point. And I'd go on Duolingo like once every other month and, you know, learn some verbs. She would teach me something and I would correct her. I would be like, I don't think that is correct. I think it is XYZ. And she's like, oh, no, Timoteo. You know, and I wanted to like get into some more advanced stuff and not start with like, hola, mi amo Timoteo. You know, but it was...
And he'd bring his homework back for me to show me, and I'd look at it, and my Spanish is pretty good.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there were legitimately things wrong. So even though your Spanish teacher, you stopped going, I had a great time with my Spanish teacher, and she was very good. And she taught me more advanced things, and we had a great relationship. She would bring me home to her family to meet her sisters, and she had someone in her family embroider a shirt for me. So that was really, really nice, and that worked out.
The relationship I had with my teacher.
No. You went and played poker quite a bit.
Every Wednesday and Friday, there was like a 3 Quetzal buy-in poker tournament, Texas Hold'em style. 3 to 5 Quetzal is like, I mean, $2.
One time you won like $20, I think.
I came home and was like, what? And the rest was like, oh my God.
So we had a fantastic time in San Pedro, but we also took weekend trips over to Panajachel to visit Greg and Jess, and they took us all over.
Yeah.
Our first trip was down that dreaded road that goes around the lake, but not to the very, very bad parts of the road. So we visited the different villages that dot Lake Atitlán, and it was just a fantastic road because you have those volcanoes and the road kind of skirts along them, and it has beautiful views all around. Plus you get to see the cultural beauty of these little villages. It was a fantastic ride.
Yeah, it was fun. good to have someone with local knowledge that I could speak with, which was awesome. I know that sounds a little kind of lame, you know, but you know, it was fun to have pretty much tour guides bring us around the lake and introduce us to the people that they had known. They had a local little business, if you will. It's kind of like a helping hands type thing where they made like pet leashes, dog leashes.
Yeah, they still have it.
Yeah, it's called like Rough on the Road. I think now it's like
roughly around the world.
Yeah. And they have a German Shepherd named Moxie, and it's just beautiful collars with like Guatemalan colors and really, really cool.
Employ like the local women to do this type of work. But you went off-roading with Greg one day, and I stayed back with Jess just to kind of let you have some freedom with the motorcycle.
And he had a drone, which was cool, so we got some cool footage of us messing around, going, you know, up some dirty, muddy volcano roads.
Those women and their weaving, Greg and Jess one weekend decided to take us on a journey to where the women actually produce some of the textiles for their leashes and collars and other dog gear. And so it was in a place very near to the city of Chichicastenango, which is famous in Guatemala for being an arts and crafts center. You can get anything out there that the local people make. It's just a perfect place to find textiles and wood carvings and things of that nature. And it's also a great ride. Really, really beautiful. You go through the town of Solala and with the cobblestone streets and views of Lake Atitlán. And finally we arrived to where the women were. And we got to see them with their backstrap looms. So it would kind of have this strap that they'd put on their lower back and pull it taut, be connected to the wall, and then they would just weave the threads in and out. And each textile had its own pattern and its own meaning. The birds had meaning, the squares had meaning. The triangles had meaning. Everything not only told a story, but it also told a story of their local community in particular. So the Guatemalan people can look at these textiles and tell, oh, this is from there and that is from there.
Yeah.
And this says that. And for us, it's just beautiful. The colors they use are stunning. A lot of reds, a lot of yellows.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful. And it was a really great opportunity to be able to see them working so closely to us and really get involved in the local community in a way that we wouldn't have been able to if we were just tourists on our own. But because Greg and Jess took us out there, that was just a fantastic opportunity to see that.
This is true.
The ride back was really, really nice too.
Yeah.
Our month in Lake Atitlán in San Pedro went a lot better than I had feared after my blunder of booking a place where you cannot get to by motorcycle.
I was enjoying my poker twice a week, and
I was enjoying my Spanish.
Dropped out of school, pet schlingel.
Yeah, we pet schlingel.
We did say goodbye to Robert Death for I think the last time because we walked.
We're still in touch with him.
Oh yeah, we chat all the time.
Yeah.
He's in like Pakistan right now or something.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Still on the road. I mean, it's funny because we met him in Death Valley, and then we didn't see him again until like Tikal.
Yeah.
And then we saw him in Antigua, and we said, well, we're going to Lake Atitlán, and like we have 150 horsepower underneath us in our own vehicle that. We are constantly on and moving. Yeah, we make big, long, sweeping, cross sections of the countries, but we travel at the same pace as a German hitchhiker, and that's just...
It is a bit strange to think about. In our next episode, we will be taking another journey with Greg and Jess, but this one will be much farther. It's into the highest of the highlands of Guatemala. Yeah, in an area called Huehuetenango. So stay tuned, and we hope to be seeing you. And I also hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And we will be seeing you next time.
Yes, and the videos are all kind of a visual storytell of the book Two Up and Overloaded. So snag a copy of that.
Yes.
And, kind of enjoy the video montage along with the good reading material.
Yes. The book goes into so many details that we can't have here. Pick up a copy, and I'm sure you will like it. Thank you so much for watching.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.